This is Biology A-Level at Wigan and Lee College. If you're studying biology, then you will probably already know that it is the study of the living world. So this means that it's not just looking at human biology, but everything from the smallest microbe right the way up to the most complex ecosystem. And the first year course in particular reflects that. Okay. So in the first year, the very first topic we'll look at is biological molecules, which will seem a little like chemistry. It's going to be great if you're doing chemistry as well, but it is important that you have an understanding of how these molecules interact with each other, because it's only through them doing so that we are able to produce proteins, pass on our genetic information to the next generation, and deal with our environment around us. Once we've looked at biological molecules, we will look at then how they arrange themselves to form cells and the structures within, called organelles. We will examine animal and plant cells and those of bacteria before looking at how they divide and how cells give rise to tissues, organs and systems. We then move on to looking at how organisms exchange substances with their environment. So this is an opportunity to actually look at some systems. We'll look at the respiratory system, the digestive system, the circulatory system and the immune system in this topic. So we will examine how plants and animals get sufficient carbon dioxide or oxygen. And we will look at how blood is transported around the body of a human. This then feeds in nicely to looking at genetic information and variation. We will look at variation within species, and we'll look at the variation between species and how we are able to use that variation to classify them into different groups of organisms. By the second year, we are then looking at more applied topics and more advanced study. So the first topic is to look at energy transfers in and between organisms. So this is where we'll study respiration and photosynthesis, and we'll look at nutrient cycling with reference to carbon, nitrogen and phosphorus. Then we move on to look at how organisms respond to changes in the internal and external environments. So we'll look at homeostasis as a means by which multicellular organisms can maintain their internal chemistry. And then we will look at reflexes and other responses to the external environment in animals and plants. In the second half of the year, we will then look further into the genetic diversity that you studied in first year, and we'll look at how that can lead to a species arising out of different populations. We'll look at how evolution of organisms and life on Earth has affected the distribution and the structure of ecosystems. Finally, we will look at the control of gene expression, and that's really the cutting edge science. A lot of these techniques were developed in the last 20 years, and so we will look at genome sequencing, we'll look at the Human Genome Project, we will look at how we analyse DNA, how we identify individuals from that DNA. You will sit a number of examinations over the 2 years. At AS there are 2 1.5-hour exams. They do not have any particular topic split. You could be asked questions about any of the topics on either of the exams. At the end of your second year, you will sit 3 2-hour exams. Now there is a subject split here. The first paper is based on first year material. Paper 2 is based on second year material, and then paper 3 is what's referred to as synoptic, which means it could ask you questions about any aspect of the course. There is in particular on paper 3 a large essay question that will bring together a number of topics from first and second year material. There is also the practical endorsement, which is a pass or not pass criteria, and you'll be doing assessed practicals throughout the 2 years of your study. We have a number of trips and visits arranged for you. We hope to take students to the Women in Science Festival. We took a number of first and second years last year, and they had a wonderful time learning from some amazing female scientists what they do and how awesome the science is. We take students to the Christmas medical lecture at Manchester University each year, and this is very popular with the students. We have the opportunity to do a biomedical lab experience. This year the students will be studying 3D modelling of molecules and their interactions in the body. We also want to take students to the Young Scientists Conference, and we will be helping students to come up with research projects and to produce a poster to display with their work. And specific to the biology course, we will do an ecology field trip to Formby Beach, and hopefully the weather will be just like it was in the photo on that slide. So where can biology take you after this? A lot of you will, because you'll be on the applied medical or healthcare pathways, wanting to go into these professions. And biology, along with chemistry and or psychology and other subjects, is really a superb foundation for those subjects. Increasingly, with climate change, it's worth looking at ecology and conservation work. We may be facing more extinctions of global species than ever before. Our habitats are changing, and so we need people who are willing to study these habitats and ecosystems and try to preserve them for future generations. A good cutting-edge career path would be to go into pharmaceutical or genetic research, and you'll be able to find a lot of industries, private companies and academic departments who are always looking for students who can do good research, who can be good geneticists or pharmaceutical manufacturers. And frankly, as far as biology goes, universities love it because it's a facilitating subject. So even if you don't want to do something that is biology related, then consider the transferable skills that you'll take away from biology. You will have studied lots of different sources. You will have assessed the quality of scientific research. You will have been manipulating data throughout the whole 2 years. Biology is quite mathematical. And you will be used to writing very succinctly and directly about key topics. So a lot of degree programs that are not biology related love to have students who have done biology A level. I'm thinking in particular of courses like accountancy and law, which really do like science subjects. So I hope that's given you a little bit of an insight into the subject. I'm looking forward to meeting you all and teaching you about the wonderful world we live in.